Summer on the Bluffs by Sunny Hostin. Prologue, an invitation. March 21st, 2019. Amelia Vo Tanner, rich, glamorous, beautiful, was one of the first Black women to have a seat on the New York Stock Exchange. She had been married until his death to Omar Tanner, a quiet man who looked good in suits and who was content to let his wife shine. Amelia never had children. She always thought she would. Then one day, she looked up and she was 40. Her career was in full swing, and she and Omar had everything they needed and wanted. She thought about having a baby, as her doctor kindly pointed out to her, before it's too late. But truth be told, she didn't feel like it. It wasn't that Amelia didn't like children. She did. She was godmother to 3 girls. She loved taking them to Europe on their birthdays and swooping them up for summers on Martha's Vineyard. It was like a dream. But she also realized that the beauty of loving other people's children is that you get the best of them, and then you get to give them back. Now, all 3 girls were grown up, but they remained close to Amelia. She was more than a fairy godmother. She was their Amma, their second mom. With her support and generous financial gifts through the years, they had all excelled. Perry Soto, almost 28, was on the partner track at one of New York's top law firms. Olivia Jones, 26, followed her Amma onto Wall Street and was shaping up to be a gifted analyst. Billy Hayden, 25, was a marine biologist, currently serving as an assistant director of the Marine Biological Laboratory at Woods Hole in Massachusetts. Each summer, the girls, now women, came to Oak Bluffs to spend time with Amma at the house she and her late husband had built nearly 30 years before. It was customary in the vineyard to humbly refer to a luxurious summer home as a cottage, but Amma was having none of that. She boldly christened the house her most prized possession, Chateau Laveau, named after the New Orleans voodoo priestess herself, Marie Laveau. Amma's picturesque home sat high on the bluffs. It had 5 bedrooms, a chef's kitchen, a pool, 3 French country-style beehives, a pool house with 3 additional guest bedrooms, and steps that led down to a private beach. Her grandmother died shortly after she married Omar, and she rarely visited New Orleans, except when it was convenient to stop on trips to the coast. Oak Bluffs had become home. Over the years, the house had played host to American presidents and African royalty, movie stars and Wall Street titans, Nobel Prize winners, and MacArthur Fellows. It was a stunning piece of property, but most importantly, it was the backdrop for a rich slice of cultural history. On the eve of her 66th birthday, Amma was sitting at her desk, her monograms, Mrs. John L. Strong note cards laid out in front of her. She had decided to send each of her 3 goddaughters an invitation. Within each invitation, she enclosed a small gold bee pendant. Come spend the entire summer with me, the way you did as schoolgirls. It was time for the bees to come back to the hive. At the end of the summer, she planned to give one of them the keys to Chateau Laveau. Although Amma promised that none of her goddaughters would leave the summer empty-handed, for each of them, their beloved Chateau Laveau was the only prize. Each young woman wanted the house desperately. But, as the old folks used to say, every shut-eye ain't sleep, and every goodbye ain't gone. By the end of the summer, new bonds were created and others torn apart. It turned out there was very little Emma didn't know and no limit to how far she would go to protect her girls. And in the end, the three found sisters discovered that they weren't the only ones with something to hide. Emma had a few secrets of her own. What she had to give them was far more than property. There was a reason she entered each of their lives all those years ago. This was her season to tell them everything they never knew they needed to know.